Well, that's odd. I think the Facebook Live feed is getting in my business here. Okay, let's give it up for Adrian.
How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Come on, that was pretty weak. How are you guys doing tonight? Awesome. Okay, so I introduced myself last time I spoke, but because there were so many new hands, I'll just give a little bit brief introduction. As James said, I'm one of the realtors on the team. I've been a realtor for 2 years with Mogul, and I've been investing since 2014, primarily suited rentals or suited houses, and I do most of the property management myself. So I'm about 9 doors right now. So I've been through the worst part and the best part, and this report kind of brings everything together. So what we're talking about tonight is there's a company called Buildium. Anyone heard of that company before?
Put the mic closer to your mouth. I can't hear you.
Can I hear you? Okay. Buildium. Anybody heard about that company? Okay, we got one hand. So that is a property management software, and every year they do a statistical report based on what they're seeing in trends with demographics and everything that has to do with rentals. So we're going to dive into that, give you guys a little bit tips and tricks of what's going on. So some of you may known already. So I was away for about a month. While I was away, I got married to my beautiful wife, Becca. Where is she? Right there. So I was super excited. We got married, so that happened in Maui. And then I got back and I was here for 2 days. And then the team, Melissa, Alex, James, and myself, we hopped on a plane. We had to do New Orleans. So we were there, enjoyed Bourbon Street, some jazz, some Creole food, and then we took in a real estate conference. And so we did a lot of learning, and now we're excited to be back, and I'm here and back in action. So I'm excited about that. So why is this report important? So it's going to tell us, why do renters rent? What do they look for in rentals? And why do they stay in the rental that they're in? And why do they move? So it's going to identify a couple of things: the needs of the rental and the tenants that we're looking for. And it's going to help change the services and what we're offering to them to get them to stay longer and to attract them to our rentals. So there's a shift. So between 2006 and 2016, the household rentals moved from about 31% to about 36%. The historical high was in 1965. It was about 37%. So the idea of renting has shifted. Before, it used to be a stepping stone to home ownership, but now it's shifted a little bit. Obviously, with changes in financial approvals and mortgage approvals are becoming harder. The average day person is taking longer to get approved. People who were approved before, they're getting stress tested. They're losing their buying power. And second, it's a lifestyle shift. So perfect example, my sister-in-law, she's 24, just graduated university, got a full-time job as a teacher, and she doesn't want to buy a house. She wants to enjoy her weekends. She wants to use her money to go on trips and to mountain bike and things like that. So it's a big shift in a lifestyle versus being a homeowner. So as a real estate investor, what do we look at when we're buying a property in a community? So we're going to go over the neighborhood characteristics. So shout out some things. What do you look for in a community, in a neighborhood? Location, okay. Schools, yeah. Transportation. Couple more. Safety. There you go. That was actually number one. Obviously, it's something that people, they assume that the place is going to be safe, that the community is going to be safe. But out of all the demographics, that was number one. That's something it looks for. So there's a lot of good resources out there for people looking to buy a property. the EPS has a really, really good program out there. You can type in a community, you can type in the dates, and then you can look through all the crimes that has happened in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Then, obviously, if you already own a house and you're not buying, what can you do to change the safety of it? So about 40% of people who said that they had, if there was a smart security system at a house, they'd be 40% more interested in looking at a house like that. So you can make little adaptive changes to the property to make it a little bit more attractive. Next was being close to schools, being close to stores, amenities. That was more focused on millennials, but definitely important to look at. Next, so top building and community amenities. So higher or fast internet. So who lives in a community that has optic cable? Have you guys seen the infrastructure changes that TELUS has been doing? It's insane. People, like they're ripping up streets, they're putting in the faster cable. I believe Shaw has been doing that as well. So if you're looking and investing in an area, see if they have that. Second, if you're buying or if you're renovating a house or building a house, you want to be able to know that you're putting in the infrastructure yourself. You're spending that money on technology, so it's going to be there when your tenants want to have the fastest internet available. These things are going to be amenities and features that you're going to advertise throughout Craigslist, Kijiji, things like that. Next is pet-friendly rentals. How many people own a pet here? There's quite a few. So if you obviously are a pet owner, there's a lot of people out there that are going to be just like you. So we want to ensure that we're opening the pool of buyers or to renters looking for pets and looking for a rental that'll allow that pet. So one of the big things is people want to adopt pets. So obviously, if you have a place where you're allowing pets, you're going to increase that pool of people that you're looking for, as well as the revenue that it allows. So if you have the crazy cat lady with 6 cats, you can put in like a $25 pet fee and then the pet application fee as well. You're increasing that revenue. And then top unit characteristics that attract higher rents and desirability. So number one is in-unit washer and dryer. So if you're in a suite and you're building a suite, making sure that you're having separate entrances, and then you put each unit has in-floor or in-suite laundry. So if you're looking at a multi-family building, you can increase the NOI by adding in extra laundry machines. It could be massive if you added in-suite laundry to every unit. So this is something that's important that you can do a little fix and add that into your property. Next, central air conditioning. That was number 2 on the top unit characteristics. Obviously, we're not asking to do a huge change to an HVAC thing. Air conditionings are expensive. Well, we've all been in that situation where it's that week in Edmonton and it's like 35 degrees. You got the sheets off, you're sweating, and you're like, why do I live here? Kind of like last week. So imagine if your tenant had the ability to have a portable unit and you gave them that portable unit during those hot weeks. Could you imagine that just excitement that they could have to not be so hot? They would stay a little bit longer. So there's these little things that we can do to add to our tenants' experience. So top reasons why your tenants will move out. So a lot of times it's circumstances out of their control. Either they're getting married, they're having a child, but there's a lot of other reasons. And this presentation and the building report will be available for download later. So I won't bore you with all these options and statistics, but you guys can take a look at it later or ask me questions a little bit later after the night. So 7 incentives to keep your tenants. So I wouldn't probably do like free utilities for a year, but this is coming from tenants. So this is what they would like to see. I would probably mix in and mingle, maybe do 1 month free utilities, do a cap on utilities, do a small renovation, something like that. So next, we're going to jump into millennials. So now we're talking about the demographic shift. So millennials are from 1980 to about 1996. James hates to be categorized as a millennial, but actually he is. So when we're looking for tenants and we're advertising towards a millennial, what are the things that are important to them? How are you gonna capture their attention? So things like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that are going to be where these millennials are going to be looking. For average age range of millennials about 27. Then you want to make sure that your business process adapts to them as well. So are you still requiring post-dated checks? I don't have checks. I don't know any millennials that do. So you're going to want to make sure that you have electric online e-transfer, DocuSign for any reports. So making sure that you're tech enabled so you can adapt to the millennials is going to be super important. Next is we're talking a little bit about flexibility in regards to how millennials live. So showcasing this suite to have the amenities available for them is going to be super, super important. So if you have something like smart security, the air conditioning unit, anything like that is going to be important to address and to highlight to them. And then last is making them feel like it's their home. So it's not just 4 walls as a rental, it's something that they're going to enjoy to live in. You want to be adaptable in their changing life. Millennials are going to be the ones that change the most. Again, they're getting married, they're having kids, they're changing careers. So if your suite is adaptable to the age and to the stage of life that these people are in, they're going to stay for longer. So Generation X. So Gen X is pretty interesting. These people have gone through a lot. Most of my renters are Gen X's, and they've been probably the best. But you have to look beyond their credit rating. So give you a quick story. I had one tenant call me. It was in 2014. It was really hard to find a rental. Everything was going really quick. And he called me and he said, you know what, I just went through a divorce. My credit, it got kicked when I was down, but I make good money. I was a past homeowner, and I'm willing to take care of your property just like it's my own. And so the way that I used that information was I made sure that the references checked out, the wages checked out, and with the wages he had, could it help with the debt, and could he pay the rent? He was the best tenant I had. He was there for 3 years. He built up his credit, and he was able to buy a house 3 years after that. There also makes a lot of opportunity to be creative. This is a good plan for rent to own. So if you're helping them build up the credit, they may have the cash, they're just not the availability to. Yeah, they may not have the availability to get pre-approved for a mortgage. Again, we want to be adaptive in this. So, maybe shorter lease terms, anything like that, that's going to keep them a little bit longer. When we're advertising towards these people, Gen X is kind of a weird stage. They're starting to use technology, but they're also, they're a little bit old school. So maybe they'll drive around, they'll look at bulletin boards, things like that. So you're going to be a little bit creative. You're going to use Kijiji, Craigslist, Facebook, but you also want to make sure that you're still doing kind of like print forms for rent signs. And last, baby boomers. So the big one with baby boomers is that they're getting to the end of their, their working life. They're entering retirement. They're starting to enjoy their life. So the big thing that they want to do is they want maintenance free. They want to enjoy their life and they don't want to do yard work or anything like that. So being able to be flexible with the services that you offer. So are you helping set them up with yard work or snow removal or anything like that? Or are you having the connections for them, making it easy and straightforward? Then adaptability again. This kind of goes through the whole demographics, but are you allowing them to have a grab bar in the shower? Maybe raise the toilet heights, something like that. So a gathering place, also being able to let them gather and to enjoy the community that they're living in. So this is more towards multifamily or things like that, but being able to have a sense of community is super important for baby boomers. Again, advertising. Most of your grandparents or people that you know in this age category, they're probably going to pick their favorite neighborhood. They're probably going to drive around, look for signs, things like that, and they may have their children helping them look. So making sure that if you're working towards baby boomers, that you're also putting it online as well. So to conclude, offering personal, empathy-driven customer service is key to attracting and retaining renters in the future. So being able to adapt, that's from advertising online, that's to signing the lease, that's to